has always, this is my mother's brother, and we had always been very close, and
Right.
that brought us even closer.
Yeah, I remember
And
wanting to fly him down to Texas so he could paint my walls because had that vein
yeah,
technique that no one
yeah,
here in Texas has. That was beautiful.
oh yeah.
Wow.
And
And so
he's
did you
75 now, and he's still doing it. I'm
still
sorry.
painting house Unc? Wow. And you guys called him Unc. So that's how we knew him by
Yep.
Unc. So when you
Hmm.
changed professions, did you find it more therapeutically or like did it, because sometimes we want to turn our brains off and just use that other side of the brain and be creative.
Right.
But what made you do that? And how did you feel once you changed
Um,
professions?
I did it because I it was like just like you said, it was therapeutic for me, and plus it was with my uncle, and it just gave me that really peaceful space. There wasn't a lot of people around me, so I knew that was one of the reasons why I did that.
Right.
You know, and it really, I could really say that that helped me, personally, and it helped my uncle. It helped my uncle too because he was struggling with some things, but by me being there with him every day,
Right.
it
Right.
really helped to get through those things. Yes.
Good.
Hmm.
So, Lawrence, as you moved forward, did at any point you feel like I'll never ever feel this way again? Like I'll never be able to date or love anyone? Did you go through that, or? And I also wanted to ask you about counseling as well. Did you seek any counseling after that?
Yeah, I went through a phase where I was like, I thought I would never get married again, never, because I was so broken and hurt and unwilling to like open myself up again to love and stuff. And so I went through a long phase of that. Yeah, I went through a long phase of that. Matter of fact, it was 4 years of that.
Mm-hmm.
And yep,
I heard. I heard 4 years.
yep. It was 4 years of just, I didn't even want to, engage any women or anything like that. I was kind of, popular at the church because I was one of the worship leaders, so I had to interact with people, and I took off almost a year from church because I knew that, I would be, a lot of advances would happen and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I just didn't want to deal with that. Through 4 years of that, like, man, I know I'll never get married again. I'm too crushed. I'm too hurt. I'm too
Yeah.
broken.
Mm-hmm.
And but uh, but even in all of that, God began to deal with me. It was like, you know, if you stay with me, son, if you stick with me, I can bring you out of this,
Mm-hmm.
and you can find love again. And but I didn't seek counseling because I took the traditional route. Uh, me growing up in church, thinking that prayer is the ultimate fixer of things. And don't get me wrong, I think you all know what I mean
I
when I
I
say that.
do. I do.
And but you know, I entered into another marriage 4 years later, thinking that I was ready.
Well,
And when
be-
it all
before
came to
before you
head,
go to marriage, tell
oh,
us
I'm
a
sorry.
little bit. Tell us a little bit about the dating, because we, as Stephanie and I, we discuss these things about dating and how to properly
Okay,
do it,
okay.
and where you typically meet someone, and it's all the emotions that go through your mind and your heart. So how
Hmm.
did you find your next wife in church?
No, actually, actually, I found her on Black Planet,
Okay.
and my brother, because the way I met Maisha, I didn't think that I could meet somebody like on the internet. I was like, the internet? You can keep on. I was like, nah. My brother said, he said, listen to me. That's how a lot of people meet,
Things have
Jack. He said,
changed.
if
Right.
you,
Yeah.
yes. He was like, if you,
We were
when you
talking
feel
about
that
that,
your
right?
heart is ready and you're ready to open up your heart again for love, he said, just give it a try. Don't knock it.
How did you know?
So
How did you
Right.
know you were ready? How did you know you were ready?
that was a good question because there were, like, when I knew that I wanted to start dating again, I said, okay, Lord, I said, in my heart, I feel like I'm ready to open myself up again. And it was like he gave me this nudge to, okay, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and try it. And there were at least two women that before I met my ex-wife, before I met her, there were two women
Mm-hmm.
that were great candidates.
Uh-huh.
But in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, I felt that they were. But I just didn't get that extra nudge from him
Okay.
to pursue it any further. And I always kept everything cordial, even down to a hug. I wouldn't even do a full frontal hug. I would like hug
Mm-hmm.
on the side, the church hug.
Yeah, it's the church hug.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And
Church hug with the pat on the side.
because I went,
Uh-huh.
yep, because we're human, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
you're at a vulnerable state. And I was like, I need to be sure that I don't do certain things to stir up
Right.
emotions like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
was very conscious of that,
Okay.
because I didn't want to lead anybody on or nothing like that.
Right.
I just was, wanting to do it the right way. So with,
That's
my,
that's a
I'm
good
sorry, go
brother.
ahead.
As Maisha would say, that's a good brother. That's a good brother.
So, Lawrence, let me ask you a question. While you was going, while you were going through the process of dating and looking online, did you take your ring off? Did you wear your ring, your wedding ring?
You know, I don't know when I took it off, but I know it was probably like, I have a ballpark idea. I left it on for like over a year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
left it on. I know it was over a year
Mm-hmm.
that I left it on, and so one day, um, I don't know. I just took it off.
Mm-hmm.
It
Okay.
was, what I'm saying. It wasn't
No
no,
rhyme or reason.
you
Right. It's
know,
just yeah. Mm-hmm.
right. I just felt it
Okay.
was a need for me to take it off now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did it
And
bring like
and so
like a comfort? Okay, I can move forward when you took it off, or just took it off.
no, I mean, the moving forward and comfort piece was in my heart, so it really had
Okay.
nothing to
Okay.
do with the ring.
Okay.
And, but I just, like I said, I just felt it was time to take it off
Mm-hmm.
at that time that I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
And so then you met your next wife on Black Planet.
Yeah, she was the first. I mean, this is crazy. She was the first woman that I really really opened. It was something about her that just
Mm-hmm.
made me open up and start talking and I would get on prayer line with my mother every morning at 6:30 and at 7 o'clock every morning before my ex-wife went to work, she would call me and just see how I'm doing, just talk to me. And she was extremely funny, and so she would just make me laugh every morning.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was like, "Man, I haven't heard you laugh like that
Wow.
in a
Wow.
long time. Who is this young lady?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Mom, I think I believe I found somebody that I want to open myself up to and you know take it further."
Oh.
She said, "All right, follow your heart,
Mm-hmm.
follow the Lord."
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. So I met her on Black Planet, and
Did
there were a couple of other women on Black Planet I was talking to, but I didn't have that. Yeah, I call it a nudge.
yeah, the
I
good.
I didn't have the go ahead to to pursue. But
Lawrence,
with her, I did.
were there things that reminded you of your late wife that you found yourself kind of measuring or
Yes,
comparing her to?
I'm going to be quite honest. I'm glad you asked that. She was very funny and she loved people. She was like a social butterfly. She just could connect with people, and that's how Maisha was.
Hmm.
And even in my prayers, approaching to the time where I really wanted to try love again, I would always pray, Lord, I don't want nobody like Maisha, Lord. There was only one, and I don't want to make the mistake of like, man, I need to. She needs to have this like Maisha. She needs to have that like Maisha.
Preparing.
Yeah.
Yes, and I made sure that was nowhere near in my prayer.
But
And
isn't that hard?
but
Because doesn't that become part of your standards though? Like we
yes,
have
it does.
those, I have those thoughts, and we have those conversations, but I think that becomes part of your standards. What you liked about your late spouse, it was
Yes,
it was really what you were attracted to. So it's not necessarily
yes,
always comparing, or that person has to have those qualities like that person. It's really like
yes.
just my standards, or what I'm used to,
Yeah,
That
it's a
what I want.
standard. Yeah, that's
that is so wonderful. That is so great that you brought that up because, like, like all my friends, all my family, the ones that shoot straight with me, they say, "Al, look, no shade,"
Mm-hmm.
but they was like, you know, Maisha set a high bar, bro,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean it is true, it
Right.
is true
Yes.
that she was, she had that about her. She was just one of a kind. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Yep, I am
Yeah. Because
glad that you brought
I
that up.
get the same feedback, and I'm sure Stephanie does too. But my friends and my
yes.
family, they say that, Z set he set that bar high, and
Oh yes,
don't try to compare because you're gonna be disappointed. I had to
right.
realize, like, maybe that's really the qualities that I really liked in him, and
Yep,
it's more of a standard now for me. So I mean, he
Right.
doesn't.
It's
yes
not
it
You don't.
is.
You
different,
can't
Dana. That's
expect
what
a
we were saying.
person, right? You say that to me a lot. He's not Z, Dana. It's not Z, but
Right.
it's more so.
It's our standard. It's what we're looking for.
It's what you're
What
looking
we like.
for.
And
What
what,
you
yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot, and you know what? And I'm glad you brought that up also because um, a lot of the business that we did together, of course, she was an awesome businesswoman,
Yes.
but a lot of the creative stuff that that would happen, with integrity marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot, a lot was my input also
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a creative.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I am a creative, and and I'm telling you, I really prayed. I said, Lord, I need somebody that can match wits with me when it comes to the creative side,
Yeah.
and because we bounce off of each other, we really, and
Definitely.
so I think that's why one of the reasons why Maisha and I gel so well
Mm-hmm.
in in our business endeavors because we really we were in that arena together. Of course, he was far greater than me, but I was still a
You brought
creative.
out the best in one another with your creativity, and it just
Yes,
she had strengths and you had strength.
I wanted to back up because Dana, you said something about Maisha that was very true about whoever she met. That she was able to see certain abilities in people and pull them out.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when we first met, I was a special police officer for DC,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, when we met, I was taking courses up at the school, and she would listen so intently to me, and so she said you're pretty sharp brother. Yeah, have you ever thought about
Mm-hmm.
um taking coming into the computer field.